Hello out there, long time no see. I have, as I'm sure you've noticed, I've taken a break from my Tuesday tips and from my business, from a lot of things. I've been on holiday with my children. It's been amazing, wonderful, and yeah, all good. And now I'm back. Just realized you see all my pots in the background there. I let you see the sea and all the boats instead, like that. Anyway, I'm back from my Tuesday tip. And I've been thinking for a while, we have a tendency to find things that are not to our liking. We complain. And why is that? Why do we look for the things that are not the way we want them to be? That being a relationship, a workplace, a house, a garden, whatever it is. And I thought about this as I was walking the other day because, May, June, there's a lot of bird song. I love watching birds and listening to birds, animals. But the birds are such a beautiful thing to see when they're preparing their nests. I always, in my imagination, I can sort of hear them talking and chirping to each other and what they have to do. And then there's a lot of chitter going on in the nest. And now it's all quiet because the little birds, the baby birds, are away and they have learned how to fly, and there's no chirping any longer. And I miss that because it's so beautiful when you're out walking. But there are other beautiful things to look at. You can, like this, you can just sit and look at the water. You can look at the sky. I have the most magnificent sunsets here. You can smell newly cut grass or stop and smell a rose on the way. There's so much around us. And I think that's the problem. I think we take, because these things are there always, and there's so many of them, we start taking them for granted. They're just there. And whenever we start taking things for granted, that's when we start looking for things that are wrong. Because they also have to be turned around. Not wrong, but not to our liking, I should say, because it's sort of very personal, that, isn't it? Right and wrong. Oh, the ants, the ants do love me here. Anyway, that's when we start looking for the things that are not to our liking. And once we have sort of changed our perception of those, they too can be taken for granted. And I think we should stop that. We should just pause as often as we can and take in the beauty of all those simple things. I was sitting in my house the other day meditating. Every morning I meditate with a cup of cacao. Cacao is just brilliant for beverage for meditation, and it's a great heart opener. I can talk about that another time. Anyway, I was sitting meditating and I was looking out, and it was so beautiful. No wind, and that sort of pastel colored light that the mornings can have, and not a breeze, not a wind. The sea, the water was completely still. And all of a sudden there was a little rowing boat coming from somewhere, I don't know, but coming in towards the harbor here. And it was so beautiful. And I thought to myself, yeah, we have all these yachts and motorboats and big sailboats, but that, in its simplicity, is just so beautiful. How you lift the oars and slowly, sort of without making a noise, put them into the water again, and with your force you're making the boat move. And that also brought to mind how simple things should not be taken for granted and how beautiful they are. So what do you take for granted in your relationship, in your work, with yourself? And how can you turn that around and start appreciating the simple things, the small things, and really notice them rather than turning it around and trying to find out what's wrong. Good to see you. I'm back. See you next week. Bye-bye.